Appreciate y'all for pulling up. I'm your host, Gabbo Say So. Yo, we just gonna get right into it, bro. Adam Schefter is doing it again, and I want to know what. My New England Patriots is no secret. We got the 3rd overall pick. I'm trying to see what quarterback we get. So, Adam, he be having an inside scoop, son. You know what I mean? So let's just get right into
towards Jaden Daniels. The signs point to Jaden Daniels. I think it's a situation where, from the outset, Jaden Daniels had an interest in being other places.
This is pretty much a follow-up to my Washington Commanders made their decision video a couple of weeks ago, where I went out to bat for Adam Schefter completely, saying that he's predicted every decision by the Washington Commanders perfectly. But now I just don't know who to believe, because now Schefter is walking back some of his comments and he's kind of gaslighting the viewer, or maybe I'm just not interpreting it properly. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. Now that we get all that out of the way,
Don't tell me I pulled up the man.
Prize Picks does this. All Nikola Jokic needs is one point. Make sure your no players go over 6 onto my picks using my promo code. Thank you. In order to really understand the context of this situation, we got to go back to April 4th, 2024. This was right before I took my trip to Japan, which, by the way, the jet lag is so real. It's like 2 a.m. right now when I'm recording this. All of that stuff is on Snapchat, by the way, if you guys want to check us out there. But on April 4th, 2024, Adam Schefter went on his podcast and said this.
I think the signs continue to point to Jaden Daniels being the 2nd overall pick at number 2. Caleb Williams 1, Jaden Daniels 2, and then the New England Patriots would be on the clock at number 3 with the possibility of taking Drake May.
So subsequently, I made a video saying that you could pretty much put it in stone that Jaden Daniels is going to go number 2 overall. I mean, after all, Adam Schefter predicted the Ben Johnson situation perfectly a few days before it was written in stone. He said that Ben Johnson wasn't interested in the Commanders' job, and on top of that, the Commanders weren't interested in meeting Ben Johnson's price point. Now, this isn't something that Schefter said only once. As a matter of fact, Adam Schefter said it again just a week later.
Good luck to your Commanders in the draft as well. I think you'll go get those Jaden Daniels jerseys. I think you go get that.
So I think we could all definitively say that Adam Schefter is saying that there is a very high likelihood that Jaden Daniels is going to be selected number 2 overall. As a matter of fact, it seems like it's a certainty that Jaden Daniels is going to be selected number 2 overall. Wouldn't be the boldest prediction, by the way. Also wouldn't be the first time that 2 Heisman Trophy winners went back-to-back in an NFL draft. As a matter of fact, it happened 9 years ago when Jameis Winston went number 1 overall and Marcus Mariota went number 2 overall. So this is not a bold.
Neither of those draft picks aged well, might I add. You know what I mean? We know what Jameis is now, you know what I mean? 30 for 30, one of the funniest dudes online without actually trying to be funny. And then Marcus Mariota looked like he's been aging in dog years since he's been in the league. I'm trying not to say bust because they still technically in the league making bread, but underachieve, to say the least.
Bold prediction at all whatsoever. I think it makes a lot of sense. And the argument that I made to back all this up is if you just take a look at what the Washington Commanders were doing, it seems like all of their decisions were made for Jaden Daniels to be comfortable. I mean, Jaden Daniels is a Heisman Trophy winning mobile quarterback. That's a dual threat that is being drafted number 2 overall. And the Commanders went out and signed another individual that is a dual threat QB that was selected number 2 overall and won the Heisman when he was in Oregon. I mean, people have been saying this all summer long. It's not really that new. His old coach, Brian Kelly, even said so.
He is going to be so committed to taking care of himself that you're going to have to worry about size or he doesn't weigh enough. Lamar's done a pretty good job with his size. I think Mahomes, I wouldn't consider him a giant because he's going to get the ball out to the playmakers and make plays for Washington.
So it was all written in stone. And when I made the video...
In the comment section, y'all think he's going to be nice? To go number 2, you know what I mean? They're investing a lot into your future. I don't really know too much about him. Matter of fact, I might even react to his highlights.
A lot of the comments were, well,
Yeah,
no duh. Jaden Daniels is going to go number 2 overall. And things got a little weird on Friday morning. I mean, Adam Schefter came out and reported this.
Seemed to go over too well with the agent for Jaden Daniels, Ron Butler, who sounded off on social media last night that he didn't seem particularly pleased with the process. I think Jaden Daniels thought it would be a visit with just him, meeting with the Commanders. Many people think that Jaden Daniels will wind up being the number 2 overall pick, but the Commanders essentially opened up the process.
Now, originally, I just felt like this was Adam Schefter doing what he does, and that's trying to stir the pot for other teams in order to potentially entice other teams to move up and make a trade. But you also got this report from Mike Florio.
We're so conditioned to think that this is about all the power that the team has to evaluate the players. What about for the player? I'm going to get drafted by one of the most dysfunctional franchises in the NFL over the last quarter century. They've got new management. Why should I want to play here?
And all of a sudden, things got a little sticky for Jayden Daniels' camp. A lot of people thought that Jayden Daniels might be wanting to pull an Eli Manning and force his way to a different franchise, especially considering the fact that—
I'm gonna be honest, just some franchises, no matter who they get, they just can't put it all together, bro. The Washington, I almost said Washington Redskins, bro. The Commanders, bro, are just one of those teams. Their window was so short when they had RG3, and then they moved on from RG3 to Kirk Cousins, and since Kirk Cousins is just pick your quarterback, bro, pick your jersey. Like, who cares? They just could never figure it out. Like, some teams, they figure it out on defense, and then due time they add the offensive pieces. Some franchises are just known for always going after the big arm quarterback. The Commanders, it's like they always get stuck at stage one. Stage one, whenever they have something that shows potential, something somewhere else falls apart, and then it's like, what is this? I don't blame this kid if he wants to pull out Eli Manning and not go to the Commanders, bro. You're a rookie in the league. It's one thing to go to the worst teams, you know what I mean? But I think going to one of the worst franchises, and that's always going to be synonymous with your name. You really want to be a franchise quarterback to a team that's probably going to come fourth in that division. You know what I mean? Who we don't quite know the direction of the Commanders yet. Like, I'm good.
Minnesota Vikings have 2 first-round picks, and pairing Jayden Daniels with Justin Jefferson would be a dream scenario for them. So then Adam Schefter went on the Pat McAfee show and said that it feels like Jayden Daniels has an interest in being in other places.
Swinging draft odds, certainly doing that though. Certainly doing that. So let's talk about this.
Why? What has swung the odds? I'm just curious.
We don't know if it's you, but we do know that the odds have changed a little bit at the number 2 overall pick. Now, this comes from after you tell the Trapper Dive podcast, you guys could buy your Jayden Daniels jerseys.
That's completely taken out of context.
Okay.
That comment.
Okay. This is journalism.
Okay. I was on that podcast for, 20 minutes, a half hour, and I couldn't have been more clear saying over and over that the signs point to Jayden Daniels at 2. It's tracking towards Jayden Daniels, but there's no decision. At the end of the whole podcast, as they're getting off, so we're going to see Jayden Daniels. I'm like, yeah, go buy your Jayden Daniels jersey. And now that's a report.
Yeah.
Like, that I told people to buy their Jayden. Like, that's not what I reported. I reported it's tracking towards Jayden Daniels, which it has been.
Okay.
The signs point to Jayden Daniels, which they do.
Okay.
And the Commanders are going through it after this week when, again, I think it's a situation where, from the outset, Jayden Daniels had an interest in being other places.
Ooh. So if you compare what Adam Schefter said with the clip that he's talking about, I feel like he's being a little bit disingenuous, but at the end of the day, it's kind of his job to stir the pot a little bit and potentially get other teams to trade up for particular prospects. You have to bear in mind, from Jayden Daniels' perspective, getting selected number 2 overall comes first and foremost. So leaking out to the media that, hey, maybe Jayden Daniels isn't super interested in being on the Washington Commanders, which, by the way, I don't understand why that would be the case. Sure, the Washington Commanders have a terrible history when it comes to just destroying any talent that comes to their roster, but this is a brand new ownership group, a brand new general manager, a brand new head coach, a very promising wide receiver core, a fairly well-built team in the offseason, ready for a cultural reset. So I don't know why anyone wouldn't want to go to the Washington Commanders. And this is coming from a Dallas Cowboy fan. But then Adam Schefter followed this up with a little bit more of his pot stirring.
The interest is, okay, what do the Commanders do about that? There have been plenty of players who have wanted to play elsewhere, and teams don't care, and they just do what they do. Or if there's a team that wants him, i.e. a team that used to have a coach that worked him in college, then they have to trade for him. What do they want to do?
So at the end of the day, what can you take away from this? Honestly, it's just Adam Schefter doing his thing. And it's very difficult to follow during this time of year. You don't necessarily know if Adam Schefter is being 100% true with you when he states that Jayden Daniels wants to be somewhere else. I think he's trying to convey to other teams teams, maybe the Las
quick.
Vegas Raiders, maybe the Minnesota Vikings, that, hey, if you were to trade up for Jaden Daniels, he would be very, very happy to be traded to you. So let me know in the comment section down below what do you guys think about all this, especially if you're a Commanders fan. Do you think they should take Drake May instead? Do you believe what Adam Schefter is saying here? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
To be honest, bro, I don't care about none of these franchises, bro. I only want news on New England. We got to know what the Pats is doing. The Commanders is going to fumble this like they fumble every other draft pick, man. Let's keep it a beam. Look what happened to Chase Young. Their last first overall pick. Where's he at? Come on, man. Like, I just want a quarterback, bro, because it starts with one of those. And what are the odds of the top 3 quarterbacks selected in the draft actually panning out? It almost never happens. You know, probably one of them are going to go on to have like a successful career. Everybody else is probably just going to be a jag. I just want to win that lottery, bro. I just want to win that lottery. I wouldn't mind having them. I really wouldn't. The Pats, we talk about a culture shock, man. We got to revamp. We got to get rid of everything, man. Like, but y'all let me know in the comment section where you think this kid is going to go, man. I'm going to holler at you guys next video. Adam Schefter doing Adam Schefter things.